Did you put Christmas on a credit card? Don't stress out about that extra holiday spending. SaveWithConrad.com can help you consolidate all of your high interest rate credit cards into one much lower monthly payment. SaveWithConrad.com has helped families just like yours save up to $800 a month. You don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket. And did I mention no payments until March? So don't make saving money a resolution next year. Make it happen today at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, Equal Housing Lender. Hey, it's Conrad, the mortgage guy, and you're listening to Grilling JR with the voice of professional wrestling, Mr. Jim Ross. Jim, how are you, man?
I'm great, Conrad. You are full of piss and vinegar, as am I, because on Friday night, the Sooners and the Crimson Tide will get it on one more time.
I'm fired up. I can't believe it's finally here for guys like you and I. This is our early Christmas present. Of course, we got a double header of sorts on Friday night. We've got Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul on Netflix. But boy, if you grew up in the South, you're in Alabama or Oklahoma specifically, I know where you'll be this Friday night. You're going to be watching Alabama and Oklahoma in the first round of the college football playoffs. Of course, earlier this year, the Sooners came to Tuscaloosa and put a stomping on the Alabama Crimson Tide. And now the Tide is headed to Norman. And the rumor and innuendo, Jim, is that you're going to be in the house. Do I have that right?
You're right. I'll be there. My buddy Wallace Marsh is taking care of me as usual. He's like a little brother. So I'll be in Wallace Marsh's suite. E201 is the number. I can't be thankful enough to Wallace for taking care of me. They say that there may be 50,000 people outside the stadium.
Wow.
Isn't that ridiculous? Schools, they postponed school classes on Friday, which is kind of unusual because it is the finals are ongoing. So it's a huge thing. This game is just absolutely massive. Hotel rooms are scarce if you can find one. I should have rented out my 2 empty bedrooms. That would be a hell of a deal, wouldn't it? Spend the OU Alabama weekend at JR's house.
Hey, let me ask you, how many miles? I know you took me by there years ago when I had the good fortune of hanging out at your house, but how far are you from the stadium there?
3 miles.
Wow. It's amazing.
3 miles. Yeah, that's great. You can hear the band playing from my home. If for whatever reason I didn't go to a game and I'm at my backyard, sitting by the pool or something, you can hear the crowd cheering and so forth. It's a great atmosphere. It wasn't planned. It just happened. And so I live about 3 miles, maybe 3.5 or something. But now that don't mean you get there in 3 minutes. But
right.
But it's I live in the neighborhood, shall we say.
Well, I'm fired up about it. Of course, it's not something that all of our listeners across the pond are interested in, but the college football playoff is a big damn deal. And the idea that our teams are hooking it up is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're going to be hanging out in the celebrity suite with Wallace Marsh and of course, Brian Bosworth and good old JR. Like, I can't believe you gave your suite number. You're going to have some people trying to get in there. I know I would be, but right now, the betting line says Alabama is a 1.5 point favorite.
Yeah.
Normally, the home team gets a 3 point advantage. They think it's going to be a razor thin game. What do you predict?
Well, I like the fact that Alabama's favored because it may give the Sooners a little bit more motivation.
Oklahoma's favored. I'm sorry. Alabama's getting 1.5.
Well, that just changed like the last few days.
Okay.
Because going into like last week, for example, Alabama was getting some points.
Wow.
1.5 or 2 or something. But in any event, hey, when you get a game this high stakes, 2 quality schools, they know each other. I don't know what that's going to mean. They say, well, it's hard to beat some teams twice in 1 year. Who wrote that?
Right.
I don't know if it may be true. Hell, I don't know. But bottom line of it is that it's going to be a fist fight. The one thing that Oklahoma has is a great defense. And they have a coach that has motivated them to where they believe that they're the toughest, nastiest team in college football. Pardon me. Whether they are or they're not, Conrad, it don't matter. If you believe you are, you've won part of the battle. So we'll see how it goes. And Alabama travels well, don't they?
Oh yeah. Listen, Alabama travels well. It's going to be a loud, rowdy environment. I can't wait to see it. I'm also curious, what's going to win, the YouTuber Jake Paul or Anthony Joshua? I don't know, Jim. Do you keep up with boxing these days? Do you have a pick 'em in that one?
Not really. Nothing in boxing has turned me on in a long time. It just hasn't. The personalities, like Tyson, and even Evander Holyfield, who was like a bowl of oatmeal with nothing on it, had charisma. I don't feel the magic, charismatic magic from the world of boxing right now. And I'm not anti-boxing. It's just somebody is there's a golden opportunity for some fighter to step in and get the attention of the world in a sport that's been around forever. But right now I'm lukewarm on boxing. Now is that kid who's fighting?
Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Jake Paul, of course, is the younger brother of Logan Paul, who's a WWE wrestler these days. But
that's what I was going to ask you.
Jake's gotten into boxing and he's done real well, but now he's facing a real badass, much larger man in Anthony Joshua. So it's going to be interesting to say the least, Jim.
It won't go to the distance. It can't. So if you're going to gamble on a stoppage, a knockout, or something along those lines, and I don't know who's going to do it, but that's what I suggest. But I guess I'd lean toward the boxer, the experienced boxer.
No doubt. Anthony Joshua, I think, has got to be the favorite. Of course, lots of people wondering what's going to be real, what's not going to be real. One thing we know for sure is real is that John Cena is retired. He's had his last match. He has announced that he signed a 5-year deal to be an ambassador for WWE. So I'm sure we'll still see him associated with WWE and in affiliated programming and things like that. But as far as in-ring competition, it came to a finish last week at Saturday night's main event. It was him and Gunther. Gunther went over and the fans in the building were not happy. Huge boos, you effed up chants, F Triple H, lots of terrible chants. Even at the post presser, they were even chanting AEW at Hunter.
No.
Oh yeah. There's a big debate online and I want your take on this. Some people like Jeff Jarrett absolutely hated the finish and thought that, hey, you pissed off your fan base. You didn't give them what they wanted. Others thought, well, the reaction that Gunther got on Raw Monday showed that it worked. They hated him. I tweeted immediately that it reminded me of the streak ending at WrestleMania 30. And I know a lot of people wish that streak wouldn't have ended, but what did the voice of wrestling think about John Cena losing his last match?
I thought it was the right call. John Cena's legacy and the feel of John Cena, his career, the whole 9 yards, it just, winning or losing was not going to affect that. He's over. He'll always be over. He's one of the greatest of all time. So many think the greatest of all time. I don't know if I go that far or not, but in any event, he's in the top 4 or 5 talents that WWE has ever had. So he was already a made man. Tony Soprano did not need to shoot one more person to be a badass. He'd already killed plenty. And he was the guy. Well, that's just like John Cena. All those great wins, John excelled and he became better than I ever thought he would. But he was a fan. When I started recruiting John, as I was told this story before, I had an insider. There's a coach here at OU that was the line coach or strength coach at Springfield College, where Cena went to school. And so when I found that out, I got a hold of him and got the the background like I did an FBI check. What kind of kid is he? You find out. Well, he was the first guy in the weight room. He always worked after practice. He was a captain of the team. He played center, Conrad. Goddamn, how unceremonious is any position on the football field other than center?
Right.
The only time you hear about a center is when they screw up.
That's right.
But he was really, really good, and his teammates loved him. So I don't know. I was a big fan of John. Then when I met him, you could tell he spent a lot of time in the gym. His body looked great. He was articulate. We started talking about the old days, and he had a great recall. It reminded me of Mike Tyson. Having a recall of those days, that one era, a certain era of the WWF, because Mike grew up in New York State, and Cena grew up in Massachusetts. So he just had it. There was something about him that drew me to him, and I remember I've probably told this story. It was in one of my books, I think, where I came back. I took a red eye back from L.A. That's where John was living. And I think he was moving furniture or something, just odd jobs. But I met him through Rick Bassman's school in L.A., and we had a great meeting. I thought, man, this guy's special, and we got to sign him. I didn't tell him that, but I wanted to keep a little bit of leverage. So I flew back on a red eye and landed and went straight to the office. And Vince was there, and I told him, I said, I just signed a guy that'll be headline WrestleMania. I just signed a kid that's got all the intangibles that we look for. He comes from a good family. He's got values. He's got integrity. He looks phenomenal. He's a real athlete. So when he gets dinged and bruised and stuff, he's going to be able to play through it. So, and he's a team guy. He's been in the locker room. So that's kind of how that all started. And Vince thought I was crazy. He said, "You're just sleep deprived or some shit." So all that John Cena stuff brought all those memories back, and no regrets whatsoever. And I consider him a friend. He wrote. He's written for my books. He's just a great guy, and happy to do it. Happy to do it. So he deserves everything that he's earned, and I stress the word earned, because by God, he has. He wasn't the most popular guy in WWE, Conrad, when he first came in, because the older, experienced talents that had gone through a territory or whatever had traveled the world a little bit. We're a little bit jealous of this handsome kid with a great body that was a real athlete. John's just so respectful. He's like, "What's wrong with this guy? What am I not seeing in this guy? We don't expect people to be this nice in pro wrestling." But he was.
John Cena is undoubtedly a legend, but the question remains, what is this going to do for Gunther? A lot of people are not sold on Gunther. They say, how can he be this unstoppable beast if he just tapped out to Jey Uso? And others say, did you hear that reaction on Monday Night Raw? Raucous boos. He had mega heat. What do you think? Is this how you launch a heel run? Yeah.
Damn right it is. Damn right it is. Don't overthink it.
Right.
I mean, here's a guy that's remade his body. You seen those pictures of Gunther a few years ago?
Before and after, as Walter, and then Gunther. Yeah, different dudes.
Different, goddamn. And I think he's a blessing.
Yeah.
And I think that they did the right thing. He's staying. They got to monetize his presence. And they've invested a lot of money in him as far as TV time and so forth. We don't think about that often. The TV time just kind of comes with the territory. No, it's expensive. So I'm a big fan of his. I'm a big fan of his. I guarantee you one thing: of everybody on the WWE roster, and they got some great talent. But if I had a territory and I just won the lottery and I'm going to start my own territory, and I got to do a draft, I promise your ass, Gunther will be at the very near the very top echelon, shall we say, to cover my fat ass of the draft. He's got character. He's got integrity. He takes care of himself. He looks good. He's got one of the great looks in wrestling. So I think they did the right thing, and because I don't think you could do anything to hurt Cena.
Right.
If he lost in 30 seconds and to an overhand wrist lock, you might question that decision, but he didn't. So I liked it, and I'm not saying I'm absolutely right. I'm telling you what I would have done and why I would have done it. That's all.
And that's what we want to know. That's why we tune in to Grillin' JR. That's going to be a quote all over the internet, I'm sure. Speaking of quotes, we want to share one from Mick Foley. He had a pretty strong reaction to the response that, and again, I want to be clear, we are not a political podcast. We're a wrestling podcast, but this is in the wrestling news. The world famous director, Mr. Rob Reiner, was tragically killed with his lovely wife, and it was a senseless killing. And there's been a heap of praise to go around for Mr. Reiner. He himself was a big wrestling fan. And did you ever meet him? We never spent any time talking about him.
I think I met him one time, Conrad, in a passing kind of a thing in Los Angeles at an event, like a Raw. I think at a Raw.
I love that he was attending a Monday Night Raw. Well, Mick Foley saw the sitting president, Donald Trump's statement, and it was not very kind. Mick Foley said something like, "I no longer wish to represent a company that coddles a man so seemingly void of compassion as he marches our country towards autocracy. Last night, I informed WWE Talent Relations that I would not be making any appearances for the company as long as this man remains in office." Yeah, his Legends deal is active, but he says that's all she wrote. What do you expect here? I mean, this is a guy that you've known a long time, Mick Foley. You were a big advocate to even getting him in the WWE, and now he says, as Popeye the Sailor Man says, "I've had all I can stance, and I can't stance no more."
Yeah. I love Mick. I had to fight my ass off to get him hired because Vince didn't like his look, and I encouraged and tried to help motivate him a little bit on his books. Keep doing it, boy. These are great, because he would share with me stuff that he wrote. He wrote in longhand, and I was very honored to be a part of that little thing. But I think the world of Mick Foley. If I had, he'd be another guy that if I had my territory, and he'd be joining Gunther on the roster, so to speak. He's a wonderful human being. He's got high principles. He's very sensitive. He's very intelligent. And if he said he's done, he's done. So I don't think anybody at WWE will lose any significant sleep over it, but they might. They should. He's a valuable asset. But in any event, you never know how it's going to end up at the end of the day. But I know that what he said, he meant.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
What he said, he meant. He's very disillusioned with the WWE support of Trump, but he joins a lot of people because Trump's not the most popular guy.
Easily the most polarizing president of my lifetime. Whether and again, we're not trying to have a political discussion, but I do want to ask. Growing up in business and in sales, Jim, one of the number one rules that I always heard, especially here in the South. You don't talk about politics. You don't talk about religion. And we'd even add a third one. We don't talk about college football. Now that's a little silly, but the first two, I do think those are pretty good best practices in business, that you don't talk politics or business in business, and you don't talk religion in business, because it feels like no matter what, you could be having your audience. You don't want a divided audience. You want to serve as many folks as you can. What do you make of WWE cozying up to the sitting president?
Oh, it's just posturing. It's photo ops. I've seen Triple H. Triple H has made multiple visits to the White House, and that's cool if you're invited and you make a good contact. And Trump's a star chaser, so I don't know, man. I'm like you. I'm glad that we don't make that a primary topic of our show.
No, it's not fun. And we're
No.
here to have fun, and we do want to talk about fun before we move on to the fun, because if you tuned in today hoping that you would hear the voice of wrestling call a match, well, I got good news for you. He's not going to call one match. He's going to call two. Stay tuned. Two NWA title matches. Yeah. Old school coming up. But first, I want to ask you about a recent appearance on the Chris Van Vliet show. Todd Grisham jumped on there and did a great interview that I wanted to sort of share some quotes about you and your career.
Yeah.
There was a discussion about Vince McMahon and his on again, off again relationship with you. He
Really?
says that basically Vince said something like, "We're going to give you the keys to Raw. You're going to be the face. JR, we're retiring him." And Todd says he was going to retire after WrestleMania. He's going to call the WrestleMania match, but that was it. But the reception he was getting in all these buildings, and eventually, like, hey, we can't take him off the air. He's too big. Even though Vince tried to squash it, Vince hated Jim Ross for whatever reason. He fired him 10 times. One show, I don't remember where it was, if it was in Oklahoma in front of his home crowd. So the show ended, and they're going to have Jim Ross speak to the crowd. Thank you very much, blah, blah, blah. So Jim Ross is in the ring, and Vince tells me to grab a mic and go down there, and he gave me some questions. I go down there. Sorry to interrupt you, JR, in front of the crowd. But how does it feel to be getting released by WWE and fired by Vince because he just doesn't think you're that good? All these antagonizing things. But at that point, Jim Ross looked at me and goes, "Can I please have the microphone?" And I'm thinking Vince is going to kill me if I give him the mic. But I was like, I just handed him the mic. I'm not going to do it. I'll take the abuse. And JR went and said, "I know those weren't your questions. Those were his." Do you remember this? And what do you make of this?
Well, you knew something was going to happen. I knew as well as I'm sitting here in my OU attire that there'll be we weren't done on the show. We weren't done. And I never have understood Vince's intense animosity. I think he was jealous.
Really?
He was never going to be he was never the play-by-play guy that I was.
Right.
But he didn't want to give me any credit for helping build the Attitude Era to what it was. I'm not the only person responsible for that, for God's sakes. I'm not trying to say that. All I'm trying to say is I signed all those guys that made him millions of dollars and facilitated the company going public. Those are my guys. That was my roster. And it happened to click. And I wish I could take all the credit for it, like any other egomaniac in wrestling, but I can't. It was a team effort. Jerry Briscoe was involved deeply, and among others. We would never sign Brock Lesnar if it hadn't been for Jerry Briscoe.
Right.
Think about it. I mean, goddamn. So I always put my faith in my work. I thought I could call a good match if the match was there. People don't understand, you got to have a canvas to paint on. And I can tell you that that's not always the case. You got to kind of play by rules. What the fuck is this? Window security. Oh, you're gone. So anyway,
I think that's Vince trying to take over your computer.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I never had, Conrad, and I'm proud to say this, and I'm happy to say this, and maybe others can learn a lesson from it. As much grief as he gave me, I always could look at my bank account and get happy. And so I never had the animosity toward Vince that he had toward me, and I never got it. I didn't screw him around. I never no-showed. I didn't phone anything in. And, I was doing 2 or 3 jobs. I can assure you, if we did a forensic study of the talent relations department today, you'd see several people involved, which is good. It's good. But there's got to be somebody to handle payroll. There's got to be somebody to handle contracts. And then I went on the road and did the shows. So I never understood it. I worked my ass off. But sometimes that's just the way that it is. And I had a choice to carry that animosity and that angst with me, or cut it loose and move on. And that's the latter is what I've done, and I will continue to do. I'm having a blast working for AEW. Now that my health is better, you'll be seeing more of me on AEW, I think. I'll certainly continue to work the pay-per-views, but until recently, Conrad, I haven't felt well enough to travel and then go out and do a show. And the way Tony's using me and the way he's booking me is perfect. I do the main events, and I'm honored to do that and help get guys over and all that stuff and have fun. I have fun doing this. So, it's I'm an old timer, but I'm still getting to play, and I am blessed to be able to do that and very thankful. So for me to stay angry or to conjure up any animosity toward Vince McMahon, it's a waste of time.
What a healthy outlook. I love hearing your perspective and the way you process things. I also love to hear you call wrestling matches, which is what you do better than anybody. And we're going to take one last break, and on our way to that, or on the other side rather, we're going to watch you call not one, but two NWA title matches. Both of these matches are brought to you by our friends at Ultimate Wrestling Classics, where you can find thousands of hours of professional wrestling from all over the world, including what you're about to watch right now. Now, you can watch this at home on your TV, on Roku or Apple TV, or any of your Apple devices, a Fire TV, even an Android or Google device. You can use this. Go right now to classicwrestling.net and use our promo code Conrad30. That's going to save you 30% off your membership at classicwrestling.net. Once again, this footage is from classicwrestling.net. Use that promo code Conrad30. And we're going to see one of the longest NWA title reigns begin on the other side of this break. We'll be right back after these words. All right, Jim, before we start watching this fabulous match, we got to brag about Tecovas. Anywhere worth going is worth going in boots, in good boots, by God. Get yourself a pair of Tecovas. Tecovas crafts quality Western boots for everyone, from generational ranchers and lifelong cowboys to first-time boot buyers like me. Tecovas boots are handcrafted with over 200 meticulous steps for broken-in comfort that comes right out of the box. And their in-store experience is unparalleled with expert staff and complimentary beverages and customizations. I did that for Morgan last year, and she had an absolute blast. They got to brand their boots. They found the perfect fit. They had a cocktail. It was an unbelievable experience. I want you to try it. And I also want to encourage you to bring it home this holiday season. We're talking a gift from the West. At Tecovas, you'll find comfort and joy in their exact size. From cowhide and goat to exotic leathers like ostrich and cayman. Whether it's their first pair or their 50th pair, Tecovas has plenty of stars to put under the tree. Beyond boots, Tecovas also offers a wide selection of men's and women's apparel, bags, and fine leather goods like belts, wallets, and more. With Tecovas premium broken-in leathers, they're comfortable from the moment you pull them on, so you don't have to worry about breaking them in over the holidays. Tecovas heritage-made cowboy boots have 200 steps, all crafted by hand in Leon, Mexico. From the first stitch to the final lemonwood peg, Tecovas boots are made in 200 steps, all by hand. Tecovas knows what y'all means. So whatever your size is, your styles, or your needs, you're going to find the perfect boot. And that's what's so special about Tecovas. They come comfortable and they feel just right out of the box. There's over 50 different Tecovas stores coast to coast, so find one during the holiday season. I really do think it's a great escape from all the holiday chaos. You can stop in, slow down, grab a specialty pour, and find that perfect gift. And their expert and friendly staff is at your service to answer any question you may have and pick out that perfect pair of boots for yourself or a loved one. Tecovas has that complimentary boot branding I was bragging about and customizations, so you know that you made that perfect gift truly one of a kind. I've gotten these for my nephews. I've gotten these for cousins. I've gotten these for my daughter. I've gotten these for my dad. Everybody loves Tecovas, and I know you will too. It's the perfect gift, and it's not bad to have for yourself either. And right now, get 10% off at tecovas.com/grillingjr when you sign up for email and text. That's 10% off at tecovas.com/grillingjr, tecovas.com/grillingjr. See site for details. Tecovas, point your toes west. All right, so Jim, we're about to watch Dan Severn win the world title from Chris Candido. As a reminder, Chris Candido had won the championship through a tournament in late 1994. I think it was November of 94. Here we are on February 24th, 1995, and Dan Severn, who is fresh off of some UFC fame, is going to become the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. I believe this happened at a Smoky Mountain House show. And this is kind of cool because we know that Candido is going to be headed to the World Wrestling Federation and he's going to become a body Donna. Meanwhile, Dan Severn's going to continue to do independence and do a great job before eventually himself going to the WWF. But he's going to maintain this NWA title for 4 years. So if you only watch WWE and you saw the NWA title and Dan Severn representing it, this is the match where he won the title. And after this match, we're going to see Harley Race defend the NWA title. But right now, let's go to Smoky Mountain Wrestling, February 24th, 1995. And let's listen to the voice of wrestling do what he does best.
Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Wrestling like it used to be. Wrestling, as many people feel, should be.
Weighing in at 232 pounds, here is the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Chris Candido.
Well, there you hear the ring introduction. It's basic stuff here, folks. Jim Cornette, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, trying to establish their business on a bigger scale. This is an interesting matchup because if it's just pure wrestling, Severn is the clear-cut, overwhelming favorite. Amateur champion, MMA fighter, and Candido is more of a traditional pro wrestler because of his background and so forth. So, and this is for the NWA title. Should be interesting. If it gets to a battle of takedowns and grappling, I don't like Candido's chances to retain the championship. And look at the size difference. I always thought that Candido was a little bit underrated. Dan Severn never got really his due because of a lack of overwhelming charisma. Candido's smart here. Look at Candido staying near the ropes, gives him a chance to get a break. Instead of trying to counter a wrestling hold, he can get in the ropes and get out of it the easier way. And that's pretty smart. This is where Candido gets in trouble, but you notice he made sure he stayed near the ropes. And he's getting frustrated, but he'll be even more frustrated if he continues to try to grapple Dan Severn. Severn's a high character guy, college graduate, former coach. So he's got all the tools. It's funny since we mentioned these ropes and how important they may be in this matchup. Candido is smart. It may be frustrating to some of the fans. It may be frustrating to Severn. But the bottom line, quote Stone Cold. As a matter of fact, I'm recording this on Stone Cold's birthday. Look at that little suplex there. It's nice. It's obvious that Candido's got to figure out some shortcuts. Well, I'm not trying to condone cheating, but he's got to get well, that ain't gonna do you any favors. Slapping a big tough guy like Severn in the face, but Severn kind of fell for it, was outside in anger, comes back in and gets trapped. And now Candido employing a more pro wrestling style. Well, those kicks, you're not going to find kicks like that in the collegiate ranks that Severn came from. Or you wonder, will it become frustrating for Severn? Sometimes it appears that Candido's wrestling a bear. Size difference, strength. So he's got to use his pro wrestling techniques. Near fall. The referee is a good one. A good guy and a good referee. Severn counters, much to the dismay of the champion. Flat of the foot. You know, the flat of the foot is legal. I used to be a pro wrestling referee. You had to watch out for those toes. The toes are illegal. Isn't that weird? The toes of the boot, to kick somebody with the toe of your boot is illegal. Flat of the foot, not so much. You hear Candido verbalizing his dismay. And that's going to happen, Chris, every time you try to out-wrestle Dan Severn. That's a strength right down his alley. And then spending time correcting the referee is also a waste of time. Nice suplex. Severn got caught in that one. Right back to the neck, back of the head. Candido trying to negotiate another pinning predicament. A lot more grappling and just wrestling, pure wrestling in this match than I actually envisioned, much to my delight. Good crowd on hand here tonight. Jim Cornette can celebrate. Oh, look at that suplex. Nice counter. It happens that quickly. Now the tide has turned. I'm sure Cornette will have a celebratory Wendy's, like a triple, something. Celebrating this big house. Candido, the one theme of this match is that Candido's done so much offense created by the ropes. His counters, his escapes have been using the ropes. That's a good game plan. It may not be exactly what you want to see, but it's effective. Candido trying to negotiate a pinning predicament here. This is where Severn will have the advantage over a lot of guys because he's a grappler. He's a wrestler. He's used to being tied up and knows how to get out of those situations. That's a little bit strange. Severn going to the ropes. Or excuse me, Candido, I apologize, going to the ropes again. Candido looking for another suplex. Severn had it blocked, but not this time. But Candido cannot follow up on a timely basis. That's not a good thing. Look at these leg drops, using the ropes for a little bit of leverage. 3 of them. Is that going to be enough? Candido went for somewhat of a delayed cover. You don't want to give Severn any extra time to recover whatsoever. Well, this feels like an old-time NWA world title match. A lot of wrestling, both men at times somewhat cautious. They know it only takes 3 seconds to lose and 3 seconds to win. There's a counter by Severn, playing on his strength and his size there. Thumb to the eye. Nothing good about that. Candido reaching down in his bag of tricks, shall we say. But he's got to. Candido cannot out-wrestle Dan Severn. Knife edge chops. Candido channeling the nature boy with those knife edge chops. High risk, little offense there. Candido going for a cover. Cover was a little loose in my opinion, but nonetheless, Candido willing to take a big chance to create offense in the top rope. Candido looking for a power bomb, but it's countered, reversed. And now Severn with a cross arm breaker. And is that it? That's it. A great athlete, a fine man, Dan Severn, leaving here with the NWA title. I got to say, that title looks pretty good on him. It doesn't take long when you get somebody in that Fujiwara arm bar, cross arm breaker. Your elbow joint just can't take much of that without being damaged. These guys are paying their own medical bills. They can't afford to be hurt. And Chris Candido, the former NWA champion, worked hard. There's some class and professionalism. Candido shaking hands with his left arm because you saw what happened to the right one. So Dan Severn is the new champ. Congratulations to Dan Severn.
Man, Jim, that was fantastic. I absolutely love that. And we know on the other side, although Candido lost the NWA world title, he was winning a WWF contract. One of those guys that we lost way, way too soon. He was ahead of his time, I think, in a lot of ways. Don't you think, Jim?
Yeah, he was. I hired him. Didn't have the idea to put him with Tom Pritchard. They're a good team, a really good team, I thought. So for some reason, when I first met Chris Candido, you could tell that he was a big fan. He was wide-eyed and he listened. He listened. He didn't talk all the time. But he reminded me of the first time that I met Dick the Bruiser. Short, thick, muscular, and carried himself like a bigger person. So I like Chris. You know, Chris's relationship with Sonny probably didn't do him any favors at times. I think I can say that with a clear conscience and honestly. But he was a good kid. He would have had a long time future in wrestling, in my opinion. He would have been good as he got older. An injury started catching up to him as working in the office as an agent, producer type thing. He was really good. So he's missed, and he did leave us too soon. But the NWA Championship went to a guy with high character, a lot of integrity. Like I said earlier, the only thing that Dan Severn was lacking was a little bit of a shortage on charisma. But he's a articulate, intelligent, trustworthy, and, you know, my word, Conrad, Dan Severn was always reliable.
Well, somebody else who's always reliable is our friends at Butcher Box. You know, when dinner time hits and your fridge is full of question marks, Butcher Box has your back. Skip the last minute supermarket sweep or that impromptu chop challenge with whatever's left in your fridge. You see, Butcher Box will deliver better meat right when you need it. Butcher Box delivers over 100 premium protein choices straight to your door, including 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork raised crate-free, and wild-caught seafood. For nearly a decade now, ButcherBox has led the industry with meat and seafood that's antibiotic-free, hormone-free, and independently verified. Think of it as a cleaner, more trustworthy version of what you'd find at the grocery store, but delivered right to your front door. Every product meets the same rigorous standards, whether it's their filet mignon or their chicken nuggets. Whether you're hosting for the holidays or meal prepping through all this chaos or just feeding a family with picky preferences, ButcherBox has curated or fully customizable plans that will fit your needs and your schedule. I should also mention, as a certified B Corp, ButcherBox is committed to really high standards, from how the animals are raised to how their team supports workers and reduces environmental impact. Plus, every box ships free, always, and it includes members only perks like recipe inspiration and tips and exclusive deals that help you make the most of every meal. My wife and I have absolutely fallen in love with ButcherBox. It's now our go-to. It's one less thing we have to think about. I think it's better, but I also think it's more affordable. But what about this? Right now, as a more exclusive offer, our listeners can get free steak in every box for a year, plus $20 off your first box when you go to butcherbox.com/JR. That's so good, that's worth repeating. You can get free steak in every box for a year, plus $20 off your first box at butcherbox.com/JR. That's right. Your choice of filet mignon, New York strip, or ribeye in every box for an entire year. And you get $20 off your first box and free shipping always. Go right now to butcherbox.com/JR. That's butcherbox.com/JR. Don't forget to use our link so they know we sent you. That's butcherbox.com/JR.
Man, what a hell of an offer. What a hell of an offer, Conrad. This is a great company. And there's a big difference in the meats that you buy. If you don't believe me, go to your local grocery store and look at the prices. Why are some prices higher? Because it's a different cut of meat. I'm so proud that ButcherBox is one of our sponsors. And folks, you're not going to regret this. You're not going to regret this. And you still got time to get it. Get it quick. And that's a live sneeze of good old JR on the podcast. But I'm so proud that they're part of our show. And if you like good protein, healthy, and I want to go outside right now and start my grill. I'm ready to go. I'm motivated.
Go get you a box right now. Free steak for a year, Jim. That almost sounds too good to be true. It's butcherbox.com/JR. Check it out. You'll be glad you did. And I'm excited that we're about to check out Harley Race and Jerry Blackwell. This is going to come to us, and this is a title match for the NWA Missouri Heavyweight Championship. Now, there's a lot of our younger listeners who may not be familiar with this title, but way back when in the territory days, there was the big belt, the NWA 10 pounds of gold. That was the world championship. But right underneath that in stature was that Missouri title, right, Jim?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's due to the respect everybody had for Sam Muchnick, the promoter in St. Louis. St. Louis was a key wrestling city. It was kind of like the Madison Square Garden, the New York City of the Midwest. And Harley built his reputation there. He became a megastar. And it's always challenging to wrestle an attraction type wrestler. And Jerry Blackwell was an attraction type wrestler. You wouldn't want to see him every week. But the things he could do at 400 pounds was scary. So I've always been an admirer of Jerry Blackwell's work. And of course, Harley Race was in a class of his own. So I think folks are going to enjoy this match. And let's notice the psychology, because Harley was a great quarterback. He was a great head coach. He knew what he wanted to do, and he was going to get it done. And the guys he was wrestling didn't want to cross him because he was whipped their ass.
I'm excited for you guys to see this. A lot of us have not seen a lot of Jerry Blackwell, and anytime you get to see some old school Harley, I think people are going to dig this.
Yeah, me too. Hey, look, Jerry Blackwell arguably was top 3 or 4 super heavyweights of all time. He could bump. He was athletic. He didn't have 2 left feet. Keep an eye on him in this matchup. 400 pounds and him doing the things that he does. He didn't mind leaving his feet. He could drop kick. He could do all kinds of shit. He was an attraction, and that's the difference in Harley Race was an everyday you can see Harley 7 days a week and see something different. Jerry Blackwell was an attraction. Jerry Blackwell was like Andre and a few others you could name. Go back and look at it. But he was just, he had it, but he just was so goddamn big that, you know, it affected his injuries and his health and so forth. But this will be fun. I'm looking forward to this.
Well, buckle up, boys and girls. You're about to see it. And I want to remind you again, this is all a part of an offering brought to you by our friends over at classicwrestling.net. It's called the Ultimate Wrestling Classics. You can watch this on your big screen in your living room. If you've got an Apple TV or a Roku or a Fire TV or an Android device, it's super easy and it's more affordable when you use our promo code Conrad30. That'll get you 30% off your membership. Just go to classicwrestling.net and be sure to punch it in Conrad30. But without further ado, man, let's go take a look at Jerry Blackwell and Harley Race, this time for the Missouri title.
Right. Man, what a crowd, what a building, and what a challenge for Harley Race for the coveted Missouri Championship. Look at the size of Jerry Blackwell. Simple things I'll try to point out, like leaning on Harley in that corner, making Harley carry some of your weight. And your weight, as far as Jerry Blackwell is concerned, is about 400 pounds. Harley Race, generally known within the pro wrestling business as one of the baddest dudes to ever put on a pair of boots. Harley thinking about it. You know, Harley's left-handed, so keep your eye on that left hand. He was thinking about popping Blackwell. And now Blackwell's preening. As my granny would say, he's preening, showing out. Might be the wrong place, the wrong time to do that. Blackwell complaining to the referee that Race has had a clenched fist, which is illegal. It's not as if Blackwell won't take the illegal route to get where he wants to go. That was not a clean break, but I've always admired and been amazed at the flexibility of Jerry Blackwell. There's a cover. Look at the size of this human. Harley not going to exert too much energy because he was near the ropes and he could get a little bit easier break. The thing about matches like this, Blackwell's got to control the pace. Harley's going to be quicker, faster. He's not going to make many mistakes, and Blackwell with a cheap shot there. Can you imagine what's at stake for Jerry Blackwell? The Missouri title is on the line. There are very few championships in pro wrestling that have more credibility or cachet than the Missouri Championship. Harley in trouble. And Blackwell, now, very basic. It may look simple. That's 400 pounds behind that boot. Referee having a little conference with Blackwell for using the ropes illegally. There's a right hand right to the face and a headbutt. Harley holding that rope, keeping himself upright. Blackwell can't believe it. God, how tough is Race? And how persistent is Jerry the Crusher Blackwell? Blackwell getting a little frustrated, maybe a little bit confused. The Race is not confused. He knows what he wants to do. Watch that left hand. Blackwell has yet to go off his feet until now. Harley Race with a rarely seen drop kick from one of the greatest of all time. There's an elbow drop. The ropes again create the break. Officially a near fall. Watch Race. Flat of the foot, you know I said is legal. It is legal. So now the big guy is off his feet. That's good for Race, bad for Blackwell. Blackwell sensing what's at stake here. This is a career maker for a guy like Jerry Blackwell, who's had many main events in the AWA. But I think his home is right here in the NWA. Big attraction. Great opportunity here. And there's Blackwell, the drop kick. It wasn't pretty, bowling shoe ugly maybe, but nonetheless, a 400-pound drop kick nonetheless. So now Blackwell's got an opportunity. Race seizes that. He knows that. And look at that mighty left hand coming into play, and Blackwell feeling it. Headbutt. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody exercise and utilize a headbutt better than Harley Race. Anybody, anytime in my career. Blackwell again goes down. Mission accomplished by Harley. The knee dropped right to the face. Blackwell shoulders off the canvas, but Blackwell in trouble. You got to wonder how the fatigue factor, the cardiovascular conditioning is going to affect Blackwell. And Race with a straight left hand. Sternum first into the turnbuckle. Harley Race now taking over, finding his rhythm. The Missouri Championship, so coveted, held by Race, is at stake. What the hell is it going to take to put Blackwell on his back for a 3 count? He's on spaghetti legs, as I've heard said. What? Look at this. You kidding me? Almost a brain buster. I think Blackwell landed on his head. Race may have strained his back, suplexing this gargantuan human being. And that could tell a big story of this thing if Blackwell could capitalize. Maybe a strained back, lower back, I'm not sure. Harley quickly going for a cover. And Blackwell kicking out. Blackwell had time to kind of recapture himself, regroup. That's a bad break for Race. This crowd's seeing a very physical matchup, I can tell you that. Harley back on his feet. Blackwell catches him coming in, and a forearm shiver. Knife edge shot, been around a long time. Blackwell using that size, his bulk, that 400-pound frame to his advantage. You can't prepare for an athletic 400-pounder. Who do you work out with? Who's like Jerry Blackwell? I can't think of anybody right off the top of my head. But fatigue may become the enemy of the challenger. Sledgehammer right across the nose. Point of the boot, again, as I pointed out, illegal, but it happened so quickly the referee didn't catch it. Harley Race being suplexed, the champion in trouble. Blackwell finally getting back up on unsteady legs. Blackwell looking to put Race away. Went for a big splash, but nobody there but canvas. Race lucky to avoid the contact because that would have beat him. Referee executing his count. Both men are down. Race with a cover. Got a near fall out of it. That's about it. The size of Blackwell changes the whole psychology of this match. Wait a minute. Hold on. Race, can you believe this? a scoop body slam on a 400-pound man by the Missouri champion Harley Race, who's got a bad back that may have aggravated it. The kick out, both men are fatigue makes cowards of us all, said Vince Lombardi back in the day. And fatigue is becoming a factor in this match. Uh-oh, they're near the ropes. Blackwell with a slam, trying to use the ropes for an unfair advantage. What the hell's going on here? Blackwell had both feet on the ropes, for God's sakes. Harley Race is in disbelief, as am I. Harley can't believe what's just happened, but Harley doesn't know that Blackwell used the ropes to gain an unfair advantage. We've seen a little bit of history here.
We certainly did. JR doing his thing, calling a fantastic title change for the Missouri title. Jerry Blackwell picks up a win over Harley Race. It went down November 16th, 1984.
Wow.
So that's about a year removed from the very first Starrcade where Harley dropped the title to Ric Flair. But in that St. Louis market, Harley Race was the man, was he not?
Oh, yeah. God, he's a legend. Harley was a legend in many places. But the fact that he grew up in that region, that area, was not lost on the fans. He earned their respect by being the baddest son of a bitch in the land. I heard all these funny stories about Harley loved to play pool, play 8-ball. And no matter how many quarters are on the table ahead of him, he'd walk in and run his hand across the pool table. There would fly the money, and nobody would say one word. He was the baddest dude in the land, and I really enjoyed work. I worked with Harley the most, obviously, at WCW, but I called some of his matches when he was the NWA champion. He was just amazing. He was a strategist, and he did things that made sense. I wish young guys today would understand that. They think that the only thing that makes sense is fly a little bit more or take more big bumps. Harley scattered them out. He made them mean something. And it's like eating chocolate pie. I'm thinking about that. Was Butcher's Block. I'm hungry now. But Harley he was the man. He was a steak eater.
Well, they're going to be eating a lot of steak next weekend at AEW World's End. It's at the home of the original All In, Hoffman Estates, the Now Arena. It's happening next Saturday, December 27th. There's rumor and innuendo there may even be a JR sighting. One thing we know for sure is that the Continental Classic, which is the premier tournament in all of professional wrestling, is going to come to a close. You'll have the semifinals there, and then, of course, the championship round. And of course, the winner of this tournament will get a title shot. And I guess it's for the Continental Championship. So it's on the line, and we're going to have a new Continental Champion at the end of that show. If you're paying attention, we know that we've got a lot of ties going right now. In the Blue League, we've got Takeshita and Claudio Castagnoli, both with 7 points each. In the Gold League, we've got Pac, Speedball Bailey, Kyle Fletcher, and Kevin Knight, along with Okada, all with 6 points each. So it's still very much an open field, lots of opportunity, lots of great matches to come. But at World's End, we'll also see Chris Statlander defend her women's title against Jamie Hayter. The AEW women's title will be on the line. We'll also see the Babes of Wrath, that's Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale, defending their new tag straps against Athena and Mercedes Moné. But the one everybody's going to be talking about, Jim, and they just recently signed the contract, I'm pretty excited to see. It's a 3-way with Samoa Joe defending his world title against Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page. But wait a minute. MJF has inserted himself. It just happened last night on Dynamite. MJF won the casino gauntlet. He guaranteed himself a title shot. So even when we were building this show, we thought it was a 3-way dance. It's now a 4-way with MJF. He's back and he's inserted himself into the title picture. Jim, I know you're not necessarily a betting man when it comes to pro wrestling, but with Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, Hangman Adam Page, and MJF, can you pick a winner? Who's the odds-on favorite, do you think?
I don't know, Conrad. It's a goddamn all-star game. That's what a booking. Tony Khan has outdone himself on this one. I think the main event is. I hope I get to call it. I just all that star power, what's at stake, the physicality, all those good things. So I don't know. I hate to pick against Samoa Joe in any environment. I got so much respect ultimately for him, but boy, this is an all-star game, man. Look, this is a career maker, a money maker, a career maker. And as weaselly as he is, and he reminds me so much of Paul Heyman at times, but I'm not going to say that MJF's not going to walk away with the title with a smile on his face.
Well, I can't wait to see it. It's going to be live on pay-per-view. Tickets are on sale now. If you want to be there in person, it sounds like JR is going to be. AEWTIX.com is where you can join JR and MJF and a who's who of AEW. And of course, you could enjoy on pay-per-view on Amazon, ppv.com, or anywhere else where you get your pay-per-views. But there's only one place to pick up that JR's all-purpose seasoning, and that's jrsbbq.com. We're right here with the holidays right around the corner. They're running all kinds of specials. If you're in the mood for a last-minute stocking stuffer, hurry. There still may be an opportunity. JR's actually got some jerky in stock, and they are shipping around the clock this weekend. So there's still time to order. We're talking 20% off the seasonings, 40% off remaining gift boxes, and they've got $28 family packs. Maybe you're liking JR's new hats. Well, they're here, and they're 20% off, including JR's black hat. Go check it out right now, jrsbbq.com. It might even be good on some of that meat from Butcher Box, don't you think?
Damn right. It's going to be good. Boy, you're killing me, Conrad. You're just absolutely killing my ass. I want to get up when we're done, go outside to my patio, turn my grill on, and cook me a steak.
Why not?
Protein, baby. Protein. Eat more protein. That's what my doctor tells me. You should eat more protein. So I'm going to adhere. I got a new doctor here in Norman. She's good looking too.
Oh, look out. Is this Mrs. Ross on the lookout right here?
No. That's the I found out a long time ago. I ain't very good at being married. So no, but she's good and she's sensitive.
Oh, okay.
Like me. Yeah. So it's good. Life is good, buddy. Hey, Conrad, I want to remind everybody that now I'm in Oklahoma. I'm back full time. And Stephen Link and I are collaborating on me signing a bunch of product. So if you want something signed, I am available. I am doing it. So put your orders in. Can we get it there by Christmas? I'm not sure, but it'll damn sure be a photo finish if we can't. But if you want something signed, and I'll personalize it, get in touch with us at jrsbbq.com. And we appreciate your business.
That's jrsbbq.com. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Go check it out. You'll be glad you did. jrsbbq.com. I thank everybody for joining us. I hope you'll tell a friend. We're trying some new things over here at Grilling JR, and the place to be is on our YouTube. And if you haven't already, I want you to go check it out. It's grillingjr.com. It's totally free. Hit the subscribe button, cost you nothing. Throw us a like, and be sure to check out all the action. If you're just listening, you're missing. We can actually show you the match. You can see a match you've probably never seen before and hear commentary that you've never heard from the voice of pro wrestling, and there's nowhere else to find it. It's only on our YouTube for free at grillingjr.com. Jim, I'm having a blast hearing you call these matches. Are you having as much fun calling them as we are listening?
Oh, yeah. Well, nobody in my ear yelling at me.
Yes.
I'm not being cursed. Yeah, I'm having a blast, man. Conrad, this is how I got here, calling wrestling matches, and to be able to go back and do it unfeathered, without a lot of issues. I don't hear it from anybody, not even Bull Ramus says anything while we're doing these matches. And look, if you can either do the job or you can't. So let me do it and let the cards fall where they may. I'm having a blast. I hope the fans are liking it. Let us hear from you. Send out a tweet, send out a text, whatever, Instagram, all those things. Let people know what we're doing, because we're changing the format a little bit, and we got some surprises that we're thinking about doing coming up that you're not going to want to miss.
I'm loving it. I hope you guys are too. And we'll be back next week. I know you're curious. Hey, are they going to drop a show on Christmas Day? You're damn right we are. Make plans to join us after you've opened all the presents and all the families cleared out of the house. Plop down, watch some good old wrestling with the voice of pro wrestling and myself. It's grillingjr.com, and we'll see you next week right here on Grilling JR with the good old JR.
Boomer Sooner, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Did you put Christmas on a credit card? Don't stress out about that extra holiday spending. SaveWithConrad.com can help you consolidate all of your high interest rate credit cards into one much lower monthly payment. SaveWithConrad.com has helped families just like yours save up to $800 a month. You don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket. And did I mention no payments until March? So don't make saving money a resolution next year. Make it happen today at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, Equal Housing Lender.